Everybody, it's race night and we're coming to you live from SARCO, and yes, it's Monday and that means the vintage touring cars, and we are in for a fantastic night's racing. We are racing tonight at the Texas Speedway, and I'm going to be filling in for Dylan this evening, as he unfortunately is not well. And Dylan, if you can hear us, please we send out our best wishes and I hope you get well soon. But in commentary with me at the moment, I have Johann from Simstuff Racing who will be helping us out tonight. Johann, how are you doing this evening?
Good evening, Ashley. Doing well in yourself. And if you maybe haven't looked outside the window yet, it is raining on track.
It is raining on track, and that's going to make it super exciting for these vehicles. As we know, especially tomorrow, we know that big muscle car has plenty of grunt in the back, and with the rear-wheel drive, we know it's going to be very tricky around the corners. But the same say for the Ferrari. The Ferrari 365, we know it's got 402 horse brake power, and with a weight of just 1,240 kgs, it's 1.2 tons. I'm sure we're going to see a good nice racing ahead. The Ferrari with the bigger motor, we know it's got the V12, and the Camaro the V8, but that Camaro seems to have the upper hand on the acceleration.
Well, actually, when I was on track a little bit earlier on, we found that the Ferrari seems to be a bit quicker off the line, but and I said between the two, the Camaro felt like the more stable car, and then I heard I most probably was driving the Ferrari wrong. But yeah, two totally different cars. I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, a huge part of this track is around the oval, where stuff like top end speed is going to come into play. So I think it would be interesting to see, and then obviously turn 1, the first turn, well, actually not turn 1, I think on the track it's actually turn 3, but as you move off the oval, I think that's going to be an interesting part of the track tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. And tonight we're starting off with the Bravos here, guys, and as you can see from your pictures, they're already on track at the moment, and nobody seems to have set a time yet. It's still early days, but who are your favorites this evening for the Bravos here, Jan?
You mean except the Simstuff Racing guys? No, I'm a great fan of Brandon dos Santos for obvious reasons, and he seems to be doing very well. I think he's going to be somebody to look out for tonight again.
Yes, we know that he unfortunately doesn't have a steering wheel like most of the guys, but nevertheless he has been absolutely brilliant on the controller, and he's managed to show us exactly what it is, what he's capable of. Yeah, big up to him, and let's see if he can make a YouTube proven or show a big impact on tonight's racing.
I think it's going to be very interesting, and especially for him being on the controller, I think it's going to be a bit more difficult than for the guys on the steering wheels to react quickly to the changes of the car.
Especially, I mean, he has to change the gears himself on the actual controller, and yet, as anyone will tell you, that's a simple thing to do. You know, we have the luxury of having the steering wheel, and it's quite easy to control the two. Whereas he has to change gears, accelerate on one end, and brake on the other hand, and turn at the same time. So, big up to him for throwing down the gauntlet for the guys in this tier.
Just looking at Jock there spinning out, and that's something I struggled with on the Camaro as well, especially if you go down to first gear, it tends to step out very quickly around those turns. So I tend to stay away from first gear around this track.
Yeah, I found maybe the steering wheel setup
to step out very quickly
stable,
around those turns. So I tend to stay away from first gear around this track.
The Rockstar
to step out very quickly around those turns. So
as you exit turn, well, he's at the final turn before you hit
the final turn, yes.
Yeah, before you hit the oval track, and that's going to compromise his lap. And as we know, there's not much time in this qualifying for this vintage series. We've only got 5 minutes to complete your qualifying lap, so you have to make every single lap count. And I can just see who's that behind him at the moment. Looks like he's gone slightly wide here, but that would have compromised his lap as well.
No, 5 minutes is a very short time, and you actually run the risk of actually not setting a time in the 5 minute period.
Absolutely. But looks like Rudy has managed to get a time there of 1:25.5, and that's put him to pole position, followed very closely by Perry with a 1:25.5. So looks like Rudy very managed to get a time there of 1:25.5, and that's 4 hundredths of a second between them. And then in third position we've got Robert with a good time there for 1:25.7, followed by that's the cat Ross, our Scottish international, who's joining us tonight and also hosting the lobby for us. Thanks, Ross, for your assistance tonight. And in fifth place at the moment, it looks like ROC. I'm not too sure. It's obviously one of the new drivers. But as I say that, looks like we've got a sudden change. Absolutely. So in third position, whoa, not sure what happened there, guys, but it looks like the time's all jumbled up. It's Rockstar Mal who gets the quickest lap there. And after that little spin that he had, he still manages to put in a good lap and get pole position, and followed by Rudy. Then Ross managed to work his way up from fifth position now into third, and that's pushed Terry all the way down to fourth, followed by Simstuff Racing JohannVdV. I think we're going to have a fantastic race this evening.
Yeah, I think so too. And now for this turn 1. I mean, turn one is always difficult on any track, especially off the start. But in the rain, coming off the oval, coming from the embankment, I think on this track it's going to be extra difficult tonight.
Yeah, I hope the guys have spoken to each other and said, look, turn one is a bit tricky. Let's take it easy. Let's finish the race. We've got 20 minutes ahead of us. It's still anyone's game at the moment.
Yeah, and I think, especially with the rain, pit stops are a real reality in this race, pitting for not for tires, but to repair some damage.
Yeah, I think we might see that this evening, but I mean, if you do end up going to the pits, that's pretty much your race over with that long, pit lane, and you're limited to only, 60 or 80 k's an hour. That's pretty much race done. Because you could pretty much go this whole race without going to the pit stops.
No, certainly, and seems like they are ready.
So we're just waiting for the lights, ladies and gentlemen. This race will be on its way. On in front at the moment we have Rockstar Mal, and right behind him is Rudy, who will be itching to get ahead of him in the first corner. And let's not forget about Ross, and that looks like a sink. I can see some of the guys putting their lights on.
Looks like they're two aside
lights
going.
Out, and away we go. And a good start there by Maljock. And an even better start there by Ross, who's managed to get ahead of both of them. And it's a drag race down to the first corner, with Ross slightly ahead, but Rockstar Maljock has managed to get ahead somehow. And as they go into the first corner, let's hope they all manage to not bump into each other. I see Ross giving plenty of space there to Maljock, so good driving from both those guys. And into the second corner, we see somebody going wide there. Not too sure who that was. I think it was Brandon. But a good start from these two out front. Even with the rain, they've managed to keep their car pretty steady. And that's another thing that I noticed with these vehicles in the rain. They actually handle... Oh, and there's Ross, unfortunately, gets it sideways. And poor Rockstar Mal collides with him, and that's completely ruined his race. And I'm sure he's going to pick up plenty of damage from that. So that's... So I've just been told by my race director that I need to watch the live stream from the Discord room.
I just had a quick look between...
I think I'm probably a few seconds behind.
Just had a quick look between Terry and Johan. Terry being in the first place and Johan in second place. That Camaro actually looks like it had the legs on that Ferrari around the oval.
Definitely does. Like I said, I know you mentioned off the line it was maybe slightly quicker, but just remember that the Camaro box and the Ferrari has the 6-speed, so maybe there is a difference in gear ratio there for this particular track.
Yeah, most definitely. And then it seems like, as soon as that Camaro hits third gear or so, it just seems to pull away from the Ferrari. Oh, Johan going a bit wide there. And that has allowed Rockstar Mal to close up on him. And this is going to be interesting going around the oval to see what that Camaro can do against the Ferrari.
Lines I'm seeing from the guys, some of them going a little bit wide, some of them climbing up the embankments wide and then turning into the inside, where others preferring to hit the right on the inside of the track. And as you can see there was Maljock, and just ahead of him, I think that's Johan in the Ferrari. That's Johan just taking a different line there and forcing Maljock just to come off the power a bit. And but has managed to get a good braking into their first corner, and that's allowed him to close right up again.
Now this spot going through the S's, I found that the Camaro is a little bit more stable than the Ferrari through here, so I just find it easier in the Camaro than in the Ferrari leading up to this turn.
The Camaro seems to spin a lot through those S's, so you have to be really gentle on the power.
There's contact between Johan and Mal.
That was most unfortunate.
That has allowed Pete to move up into third place there. Johan now lying in fourth, and
out in front you still have Terry, who's picked up a bit of a gap there of almost 3 seconds before, with Don right behind him in second place at the moment. In third position we have Sly Pitts, followed by JohannVdV from Simstuff Racing in fourth position there, and then Robin in fifth. And it's a good battle between you. Looks like, if I can see there, sorry, I'm reading off a very small screen here at the moment. That is Robert, and followed right behind him we have one of the guys there just chasing down.
Seems like I just had a quick look there. It seems like one of the Ferraris there sustained a lot of damage, front end damage, maybe had a meeting with the wall or something.
I'm sure he has. And that's in. Whoa, and that looks like Robert and Insomnia bits coming together. Insomnia 8-bit, sorry. And that's Insomnia 8-bit in car number 11. Now into, is that, can't see there, is that in fifth position?
Currently the truck is running in sixth position, yes.
In sixth position, is that Rudy right behind him?
That's correct, yes. Just quickly want to...
Well, so Terry seems to be having a problem. It might be that he's disconnected because he's stationed on the track at the moment, and that's not a good sign because he was doing so well. So that's most unfortunate for Terry there. I know he's been practicing really hard for this race. So if our race director can maybe move off there and so now on board with Donovan, who's leading this race in the Ferrari, doing really well, keeping their car on a straight line. Coming through now to overtake Terry, who seems to be still stuck on the track there as he goes through the S's. Nice and tidy line there for him. Managed to keep in the full throttle and nice and smooth. Let's just see how he takes this corner. He goes a little bit wide to this corner, but that might set him up for a good exit. And he's coming to the last bit of this inner track bits, and we have another disconnection there. I'm not too sure who this is. I think it's actually our race director who's now disconnected. So sorry ladies and gentlemen, we seem to have a bit of a technical failure here, and could be down to some internet issues. So we're just waiting for our director to rejoin the race again. But so far it's been a quite exciting race with plenty of action. And unfortunately, we've lost one or two guys now due to internet issues. So let's hope that our race director can get back into the lobby and keep us tuned on what's happening on the track.
No, actually, I'm still actually in the lobby. So at this stage, we have got just under 12 minutes to go. So we're just waiting for, I think it was actually Dylan, the broadcaster that got disconnected there. Or who was broadcasted tonight.
I think that's exactly what's happened. I think that's, but we do have the intro now playing, so we're just waiting for the broadcaster to get back into the lobby. It shouldn't take much longer now. But perhaps you can just give us an update on what's happening in there, gentlemen.
Well, at this stage we got Don in the lead. He's got a lead of just under 3 seconds. Pete running second, and then Stoll's running in third position. JohannVdV is in fourth. Rudy running 5th at this stage, and then Insomnia 8-bit and 6th, and that rounds up your top 6 with just over 11 minutes to go. There didn't seem to be any further incidents since we lost connection, so hopefully we'll get it back up soon now.
Excellent. So I'm just getting word from our broadcaster that he is loading back into the lobby, so we should be up and running within the next 30 seconds or so. Thank you, Mr. Broadcaster, and apologies to the viewers out there for breaking transmission. As Johan was saying, out in front we still have Donovan, followed by Sly Pete. Then Roberts doing very well this evening in 3rd position, followed by Johan. And I can't help to wonder if Johan would be further up the field if it wasn't for the incident earlier with Rockstar Mal, Jock, and but still doing very well. Doesn't look like he's picked up any damage from that little incident. But hotter on his tail, it looks like we've got Rudy.
As Johan runs wide there, and him and Rudy are almost side by side.
These cars are very difficult to control the best of conditions, let alone in the rain. So a big up for them for not taking each other out there. So that was good driving from both those guys as they cross the line side by side. Fantastic shots here. We're seeing as the two, and then we see Rudy slotting behind the Ferrari. They're trying to get a slipstream, taking a completely different line. This is what I was speaking about earlier, the difference between the driving lines of the drivers. And I also think maybe that Rudy was trying to get out the spray there. And I was during practice trying to follow the guys, and it's almost impossible to see where you're going with the spray coming off the back of that car.
Yeah, I took the Ferrari out for a spin a little bit earlier on, and if you don't take a higher line through that last section of the oval, you actually can't keep your foot pinned to the floor. You need to lift off. So lining the Ferrari through that last part of the oval is very important.
Okay. So yeah, with the Camaro, it seems they have a lot more grip in that first sort of embankment corner where you can pretty much go flat out without even worrying about running wide. So that seems to be the difference right there.
Yeah, so that's the reason why Johan goes high in that final part, and Rudy can just stick it up the inside. But at this stage, Johan's still out in front between the two of them.
No, and doing very well actually to keep their car in a straight line, and he looks like he's pinned it now, and Rudy has dropped off the pace there. Looks like he's dropped off a couple of seconds behind Johan. So that has obviously relieved the pressure on Johan's side, and maybe helps him just to put his head down and focus now on the next couple of laps and try to chase after that third position.
That's correct, Chase. And the other thing is, also the spray that you mentioned. As soon as you get close to the car in front of you, you can't actually see the braking point or the turning point of the corner.
And it's just a guessing game. Imagine what it must be like for a single-seater driver, like sort of an open-wheel sort of situation where you don't have windscreen wipers or anything there to assist you. You just have it must be insane to drive at such high speed without such poor visibility. But yeah, in the vehicles we have a bit of a luxury of a windscreen and a windscreen wiper.
Yeah, and I see some don't have the luxury of a bonnet, so that water can't be very good for the intake.
We see Rudy just trying to push down that lower pedal a little bit too hard, and that's got him a bit sideways, then compromised his exit in that last corner of the inner track, and Johan leading this battle, and quite an epic battle, I might say.
Quickly want to pop over to this battle. It looks like it's close for 6th and 7th as well.
Dane in 6th position there at the moment, and right behind him it looks like one of the newer drivers, I'm not sure.
Dane and Louis. And yet we have another Ferrari and Camaro battling it out. It's good to see the two different makes of cars mixing it up tonight. Just quickly want to pop back to our leader. He's got about just over 2-second lead over second place. And if you can keep this up, it should be a comfortable win for him. If he could keep it up, with that said. Just want to say that the race pace is still faster than what I could manage in any of the two cars earlier on. So I think it would even become quicker as the evening progresses. And Johan and Rudy still battling it out for 4th and 5th place, and still as close as it was previously. There's almost nothing between the two of them, so 4th place can still be anybody's place tonight. So, don't know, these two are teammates, so it might be a formation running till the end of the race. Just quickly want to switch to the battle for 6th and 7th. Seems like we've maybe lost Ashley. Seems like Rudy has now passed Johan and going around the oval again. Let's see if Johan can maybe come back at him. And they're going side by side now through turns 1 and 2 of the oval. It would be interesting to see what will happen, who's going to break latest for turn 1 or who dares to break the latest. Seems like Johan has passed him now through turns 1 and 2 of the oval. And braking hard for turn 1, Johan takes him on the inside again. So another change in position. Rudy almost loses the Camaro through there. So this is going to be a battle right till the end. Even if though they are teammates, they still do some close racing. 3 minutes to go now before the end of the race. Our leader is still ahead and now has pulled out a 5-second gap over second place. Donovan running in second place with Pete just behind him. See now starting to struggle for front end grip on that Ferrari. Johan about 8 seconds behind him, and Rudy again less than a second behind Johan going around the oval again. It's going to stick with this battle for 4th and 5th place in the meantime. It's very nice to see some close racing between the guys. As Johan goes a little wide, the back steps out of it, and that would allow Rudy maybe to close up a little bit again.
Sorry, gentlemen, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Ashley.
My apologies, having some weird disconnection issues here on my phone, so I've switched over to my laptop, and I'm hoping that will assist us with the rest of the race. My apologies there. But yeah, it looks like a stunning race at the moment. Robert, well, that's quite exciting. He's now up into first position and managed to get past Don there. So Don must have made a mistake there. Is that correct?
He must have made a mistake because he had quite a comfortable lead, and then all of a sudden it changed around again. Somebody's running very slowly there on the inside of the embankment.
I think that it was Brandon. So Brandon unfortunately down into last position at number 14 at the moment. But yeah, still a good battle. I think up front we've seen the time from Don, 1:27 as opposed to 1:28 by Robert. So, but that gap's still 4 seconds, and you can see on the clock is only 32 seconds left. So that's pretty much the end of the race for these guys. But not to forget, we still have one more race this evening for the Bravoteers, and just to make it a little bit more exciting, will be reverse grid for the top 6 of those drivers. So Robert will be starting in 6th position as it stands, and then 5th position for Don, 3rd for Slypeat, and then Johan will be in 3rd, followed by Rudy, and starting in pole position, if it stays like this now, would be Sarge. So that's going to make for quite an interesting race, because if you look at those times, there's not much between those top 6 guys. And I think with the reverse grid, we're going to see a very interesting race. Let's not forget about Maljark, how quick it was at start, as well as Ross. Unfortunately, looks like he's left this battle, and it might be because he got disconnected, unfortunately.
That's correct, Jesse. The lap times are very close. So in the second race, we might see a turnaround, because some of the guys running 4th, 5th, and 6th are actually currently, on par with the race leader in terms of lap times almost.
Yes, absolutely. So there we have it. We see Robert, our winner for race number 1 in the Bravo tier this evening. And if you just joined us, please stay tuned. There's still much more racing on this evening. We've still got another race left for the Bravo tiers, and then coming up a little bit later, the Alpha tiers will be showing us how it's done around this Texas Motor Speedway road course. And here, coming to you live from SARCO. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. So there we have the final results.
I think the second race is going to be another cracker of a race, and won't be surprised to see totally different front runners battling it out for the lead, and with those lap times being so close.
Absolutely. With this rain, it's anyone's race at the moment. The rain, you'll see towards the end of the race how the track has got a little bit more greasy. Obviously with those puddles now forming at most of the part of the track. And then we have those times there. So Robert taking the first place there, and followed by Don, who unfortunately made that little bit of mistake, was unable to catch Robert again, followed by Slypeat, JohannVdV in 4th position from Simstuff Racing, and then 5th position we got Rudy Bars, 6th position Ryan, and 7th position we got Dane, 8th Insomnia Bits 8-bit, and 9th position, unfortunately there, poor result there for Maljark, unfortunately getting together, 8th position. I'm sure you'll be ready and raving to go for the next race.
So now for the second race, it's going to be a manual formation lap with the top 6 reverse grid, and it's going to be a rolling start, not a standing start this time.
That's absolutely right. So the guys will get into positions. Obviously now they'll all be out of position because we're doing we're going straight into the race. There'll be no qualifying. So wherever they finish in the last race will decide where they start in the next race. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we will be swapping, or what they call a reverse grid, of the first top 6. So that's going to completely change things up. And then we have our sponsor, Simstuff Racing, sponsoring the series.
mag shift, that's correct. I still want to get my hands on those. Apparently it changes the feel of the Logitech completely when you use the mag shift. And
we have the button box, which will be a very cool feature to add onto your PlayStation setup. You can customize it fully to what you want the buttons to be programmed to. And I must say, I'm very jealous of Ryan, who won that in the lucky draw. But well done to Ryan for winning that button box and that lucky draw.
Yeah, I think that would be an awesome addition to anybody's rig. Just to have a little bit more buttons and functionality that you can program into your racing.
Oh, for sure. And especially on other games as well, where you don't you don't feel like you have enough buttons on the steering wheel to use the definitely comes in handy. So there's a synchronizing that's happening at the moment, and we're about to pull away. Just to remember, the guys have to get in position, so we'll have one formation lap. The guys will get into position, and then we'll start the race. Oh, and I think somebody forgot that it was a formation lap and went straight into the back of his competitor. I hope there's no damage there.
Yeah, that would be a pity to pick up damage on the formation lap.
I think it was Johan who actually went into the back of somebody there.
There's another contact between...
Oh no, that's most unfortunate.
But actually, I don't know about you, these manual formation laps, they're actually more tense for me than standing starts or so, because you first need to find your position. You're starting totally out of place.
Yes and no, but it's just a matter of, if you follow the instructions, keep left, pass right, pull away slowly at the start, single file, you don't have to, it doesn't really have to be that difficult. This happens in some formulas as well, so I get what you're saying. It is a bit of a complex one, but it's unfortunately the only way we can really do it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Just to save time and to keep to the schedule.
Yeah. I mean, under what I meant was, under normal circumstances, you can start focusing on your race immediately. You need to find your position first, and then you can start focusing on your race.
Absolutely. So yeah, the guys just need to be a little bit patient and a little bit less aggressive. I think a lot of them actually forget about it. I think that's
you're so in the moment that you just want to race.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens. So we have Sarge up in front, who's now backing up the field. As we know, he's finishing 6th in the last race, followed by Rudy, then JohannVdV. It looks like he's now swapped positions with Slapit, if I'm correct there. In 5th position, we have Don. We know he finished in 2nd in the last race. And in 6th position, our race winner from the first race, starting right there at 6th, and then followed by Dane. And as they get closer to the line, it's green, and away they go. And a relatively good start so far. And let's there we get a good clean first corner. As we see that Sarge getting a good run, followed by a Rudy right on the tail. They're trying to get a slipstream, but will Rudy go a little bit wide? He does. That's a good start there from it. Looks like Johan getting a little bit tail happy there, but managing to keep it on the track. He's still in 3rd position, but he's going to have guys all over him right now. So a good start there by Ryan in 1st position at the moment, showing us what the Ferrari is capable of. And followed closely by Rudy. Johan still doing a good job in 3rd position. We have Slapit in shot now in 4th position. And he goes sideways, and unfortunately,
there's contact.
Next worked on. And unlucky, that was moment there. It looked like Pete spun the car and almost pulled a Grosjean there by trying to spin the car around again, and unfortunately he was taken out by one of the other drivers. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was it Ross who collected him? I see Ross way back. No, it wasn't. It must have been Dane. Oh, it was Colin. So Colin, unfortunately, collecting him, and that's completely ruined the race for both those guys.
I'm sure there's huge amounts of damage on both those cars.
You can see that car weaving all those shots. They look at Colin. I mean, it looks like serious suspension damage there. He's going to have to pit. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish this race. He's not going forward. Still up in front, we still have that battle between, it looks like Rudy got past Ryan, and he's starting to open up a little bit of a gap there. So, not sure how he got past, but it seems like it was a pretty straightforward overtake. Unless Ryan made a little bit of a mistake. Ryan not giving up just yet. He's still applying that pressure to Rudy and keeping in his slipstream, trying to see if he can maybe catch him on this fast section of the oval track.
And that Camaro is no slouch around this oval.
No, absolutely not. I think it's still got, like you say, maybe a little bit more front grip, and that's sort of helping cornering around those embankments, where the Ferrari has to go sort of wide and then come back in again. It's a total different line from the Ferrari.
Yes, in the Ferrari you need to focus on the line, quite intensively around the oval part. Where I found in the Camaro you can just let it go. It will stick at full throttle around the whole oval part. Where, as I said before, the Ferrari you need to focus on the line a bit more.
Time there by Don, I believe, with a 126.5. Robert with a 125.3. So Robert on a charge. We know he started in 6th position, so he's already up 1 position. And let's see if he can catch these guys out in front.
Currently, also Johan running in 3rd position. He's lost a bit of ground to the 2 front runners, but. As the back of the Ferrari steps out a bit.
Maybe just pushing a little bit too hard in that Ferrari. He just needs to be a little bit gentle with the throttle. With the brains, less is definitely more.
Yeah.
So I think he's just maybe been a little bit over excited on the loud pedal, and that's maybe causing him to lose a bit of time there.
You definitely need to have a lot of patience coming through the final corner, and I think he wants to get on the oval part too quickly instead of just getting the car rotated, getting it in a straight line, and then getting on that loud pedal.
Oh, absolutely, but I'm sure as this championship carries on, we'll see him getting used to that car, and probably see a lot more pace coming from Johan. As we know, we have seen him up in the top runners. The previous championships. So out in front here we still have Rudy, and followed by Sarge in 2nd position, now with a 1.2 second gap. So Rudy seems to be in control at the moment.
Yeah, with still more than half of the race to go, and anything can and will normally still happen. So, but at this stage he's controlling it quite well from the front. That gap is staying fairly constant, not changing quite much. And both of them are starting to pull away a bit from Johan in 3rd position.
Just looking down at Robert and Don, I think those two seem to be very close, if I'm not mistaken. And then we see Donovan got some damage from that incident with Sly Pete. Unfortunately, just collecting it as Pete spun out of one of the tight corners.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate incident there.
So it just
Ross
looks like,
seems to have...
yeah, that's
don't
Ross
know.
slowing him down. I wonder why he may have picked up some damage somewhere.
Maybe have an issue somewhere. But he's still circulating there. He's going back on track now.
So he's down in, you see he does, he's down in 10th position, and you see he does have a penalty. So maybe he was just trying to get rid of a penalty.
Maybe a slowdown penalty.
Absolutely, yeah.
Currently we have Terry running in 11th position. Let's hope he doesn't have any disconnects again this time.
Yeah, that was the most unfortunate. Man, he started right at the back of the grid, so he's really was able to make up quite a few positions.
Just quickly want to pop over to Louis and Colin. They're closing up on each other, so this might still be a very good race in the final 10 minutes.
No, absolutely. We've seen these guys come head to head before, and this is no different. So let's see if Insomnia Bits can apply a little more pressure to Colin, where Colin can just open that gap and get away, sort of close that gap onto Robert, who's about 7 seconds up the road from this grapple. And Robert at the moment trying to find his pace, similar to the pace he had from the first race. And as I say, that looks like Terry's moved up the position to 9th, and that could be as a result of I think we've lost Ross. Ross has
somebody got disconnected. I think you're correct.
So that may have been the reason why we see a sudden change in position there. Brandon doing quite well in 8th position at the moment. We haven't really seen much of him this evening, and we know from the past that he's been a master in the rain. So I don't think he's had the best of luck this evening.
Now, I hope that wasn't my commentator's curse in the beginning of the evening.
But they're riding, I'm sure, his favorite Formula 1 drivers, number 44. Just kidding, Brandon. We all know you. You're a Max Verstappen fan.
Oh, so is he a Max fan?
I don't know. I know he loves it. I know he loves 33. So it could be either that or he's a Brad Binder fan. So. But anyway, out in front we've got Rudy, and he's got a time penalty. So I wonder what that's all about and what that time penalty is, because he only has a 2-second lead at the moment over Ryan. So let's hope that's not a serious time penalty that's going to cause him to lose that position. But yeah, we are riding on board with Donovan, and right behind him is Robert. Now applying the pressure.
One of the issues around this track or any track in the rain, as soon as you get close, you'll have to start dealing with that spray, and actually, as you know, you can't see anything in front of you when you're in that spray.
I noticed that you can't change the speed of the wipers. They're pretty much set to a standard speed, so it's not like you can put them on full blast and hope for the best. I don't know if you had the same issue. Maybe if I need a button box to increase the speed of my...
No, I had exactly the same issues.
But I know from other games that we play that you can actually increase the speed of the wipers. So.
That's correct. Through my expert opinion, and I'm by no means an expert, it seemed to me that the Ferraris got better wipers than the Camaro. So maybe I don't know if that could make a difference tonight.
Quite possible. We know there is an age difference between the Ferrari and the Camaro by a couple of years. So maybe the technology had changed by then. But then again, it is a Ferrari. and you are comparing it to a chef. So, you know, maybe there's a bit more technology and thought behind the windscreen wipers.
But these two guys are running extremely closely and definitely getting affected by the spray coming off the car in the front.
For me, this corner here is very tricky to try to get the power on. I see the Ferrari seems to manage that getting the power down a lot better than the Camaro there. Almost like the Camaro has a little bit too much grunt.
What I did through that corner, and I don't know about you, I tend to use second gear there in the Camaro. Otherwise the back just steps out too quickly and you're into the wall. I actually did that about 10 times when I was on.
Okay.
For me it just if you lessen the power a bit and use second gear, it's a bit better, and otherwise it becomes a handful.
Thanks for that top tip. I'm going to give that a go in my race. Maybe it'll save me a couple of spins. And these broadcaster giving us, tips from the gallery there. So feedback gallery. Thank you very much, Mr. Broadcaster. Our broadcaster reckons you have to put into first gear, and which will give us a better run out the corner, which in theory is absolutely correct. But we are racing in the rain here, so you want to get as little spin as possible. So I have been actually doing the first gear and just feather the throttle a little bit through that corner, which does seem to help. And once you get traction, then you can power it down. But I think your idea of the second gear will probably work just as well.
I think I'm just too used to cars that have traction control and that type of thing. And that's why I'm too hard on the throttle.
Possibly. You need to get yourself a nice vehicle with no traction control. Something like, maybe like a Nissan MP2. Just saying.
I won't say what my daily driver is.
Fierce battle here between Colin and is that Louis. Still carrying on here. Louis Insomnia 8-bit riding the Chev number 11. And a new racer, if I'm not mistaken, to SARCO. I think I've driven with him before. He may have been a part of SARCO,
and he takes them on the inside. Excellent under the braking, keeping it under control there.
Absolutely fantastic overtake there by Louis. That's moved him up into that's 6th position now.
That's correct, up into 6. Oh, and he loses it.
Obviously did not take your advice, gentlemen, and kept it in first gear. That unfortunately is putting him straight into the wall, and he's probably going to have a bit of damage from that. And that's allowed now Colin just to open that gap and take off the pressure. Let's see if Louis is able to keep it in the straight line. That is so like commentators could right there.
I should have
just talking about how well he was doing, then the next thing is in the wall. So sorry Louis for that.
And the two teammates, Terry and Brandon, running very closely there.
Absolutely. We know Terry started right at the back of the grid, so because of his unfortunate disconnect, but he's moved now up into 8th position. Looks like he does have a time penalty there, so let's hope you back. So I'm just going to start getting the lobby for the Alpha tier ready, if you don't mind. Yellowman, if you could just take over and assist.
Not a problem. So at this stage we've got with just over a minute to go Rudy running quite comfortably in first place, almost 5 seconds in front of Ryan. Seems like Ryan has got a little bit of traffic as he runs wide. Hopefully that didn't cost him too well. Then in third place, we've got JohannVdV. He is just over 2 seconds in front of Don. But with less than a minute to go, I think hopefully nothing goes wrong at this stage, and Rudy can wrap it up.
Oh, absolutely, Rudy doing an absolutely good job in this race. Managed to get it past Ryan in the beginning there, and it's just been basically those two guys fighting it out.
Let's quickly pop back to the two teammates. Something must have happened there because Brandon has overtaken Terry again. And Terry now almost 8 seconds behind Brandon. Looks like he's got a bit of front end damage there as well.
Yeah, it looks like he made a little bit of mistake there, and unfortunately that's now cost him his race. So not a very good evening for Terry there. First race getting disconnected.
I think Rudy crossed the line just before the time where the clock struck 0, so he's on for another lap. So this is now the final lap of our leader, currently with 8-second lead over Ryan, and Ryan with almost an 8-second lead over JohannVdV. So at this stage, with 1 lap to go, as Johan runs wide again, we've seen him run wide there a couple of times into turn 1 this evening. But on the last lap, I think with the gaps as they are now, unless something drastically goes wrong, that's going to be the top 3 for the evening in the second race of the Bravo tier. 4th place, we've got Stolz, and there's almost a 10-second gap down then to Don in 5th position. So Rudy rounding it out now. He's rounding the couple of final corners around the oval, and he's going to take the second heat of the Bravo tier as he crosses the line. And in 2nd place, also coming around the couple of last corners, we've got Ryan in 2nd. It's going to cross the line now, and then moving back to JohannVdV in 3rd place. And you
there, well, the stop drivers, and you can see Johan coming out the line sideways doing his signature move. We see him
didn't manage to roll it though.
Yeah, no, but he did come over the line sideways, so that was good to see.
As I look around or down the field, I can't really see battles that are that close anymore.
A good exciting race there for the Bravo tier this evening, and if you just joined us, please stay tuned. We're about to start the Alpha tier, and those are the guys that have been promoted to the top of the leagues for the SARCO leagues, and definitely going to be shown this motor Speedway.
I think we've got 2 more very interesting races lying ahead of us with the Alpha tier, and I think it would be interesting to see who's going to come out there on top this evening.
No, absolutely. So Janneman, unfortunately I've got to love you and leave you, but thank you so much for assisting us tonight, and hopefully we can get one of the Bravo tier guys just to come to the lobby and assist you.
Only a pleasure, and all the best for your race.
Thank you very much.
As we look yet again, the products, some of the products on offer from Simstuff Racing. That is the mag shift. Moving on to the button box. So if you want to add on to your sim rig these are definitely products to go for, and just to make life a little bit easier for yourself. Motorsport.
Finish on the first race. Fourth.
Just waiting for the lobby to get ready for the Alpha tier race, as we will be moving on to that shortly.